I smell pussy.
That's the mood, Savage.
I smell pussy.
damn it.
Is that you, Blade? I smell pussy. Is that you, Ty?
Yeah,
Y'all
niggas
niggas is
pussy.
pussy. I'm ballin' now, nigga. Now watch me.
Okay. Let's get right down to it. It is a special cast-worthy bonus recording taking place here March 30th, 2019, Saturday night, 11:40 p.m. I am Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine, and I'm here with none other than the young boy EJ the Savage. How are you, my cousin?
Hey, man, I'm good. We're rolling. Shit.
Yeah, we were just chit chatting. Before we get started though, follow us on
IG.
Instagram, follow us on Twitter at Castworthy, find us on Spotify at Castworthy or hashtag Castworthy, search Castworthy on the podcast app on Apple, and you'll find our content. We've just put up our 4th episode,
Mhm.
and
On,
some good stuff going on
on
there.
Spotify, just look and you'll just see Castworthy pretty much. Just search it in your podcast search there. You know what I mean?
Yes. Find us, listen to us, ride with us. EJ.
Yeah.
So we came in with the 50. I smell pussy.
Yes. I remember that vividly.
So what inspired that for me? And we kind of talked about it. And I don't know if it's the individual or the people against the individual, but we were having a conversation about what took place with the Lakers and LeBron James last night.
And the team meeting that was had.
Yeah, so it was posted today that the Lakers called a team meeting to ask LeBron James to stop reacting when his teammates make mistakes.
Cut the shit, man.
What the fuck kind of shit is that?
Cut the shit, bro.
Listen,
Cut the
man,
shit.
that's basically what they were saying.
Yeah. I mean, I saw some people. I'm in a sports group on Facebook, and there was some guys pretty much saying, Jordan did it, Kobe did it, whatever,
Right.
and that the Lakers team is soft for asking him to stop bitching. My thing was, and let me put the disclaimer out there, I'm a hater of Jordan as a Knicks fan. Them 90s years, fuck you, Jordan, fuck you, Reggie Miller, fuck you, Hakeem Olajuwon. No disrespect. I'm just saying that as a fan, as a young fan, that was the words I said when we lost to you guys. But Jordan, I don't ever recall pouting. I don't ever recall him being, and I said it today in the Facebook group, being on some Eli Manning shit like, oh, come on, guys. You know that face Eli makes when he throws an interception and blames it on the left tackle protection, and or you ever seen a kid, like I watched a kid this year playing high school basketball, and he's clearly one of the better kids on the court, and then every time somebody does some shit, it's pretty much like, I'm out here balling, but these motherfuckers are trash.
Right. Somebody else's fault.
Yep, and that's what LeBron does consistently. Yeah. And he's even said in that article, this is something he's been battling his whole career. Not to mention pouting on the bench.
So, well, Cam Newton does that shit too, and I think that's just that's how these people are brought up. These individuals that are, these quote unquote stars today. But is it LeBron James that has the problem, or is it? It sounds like you think LeBron is the problem. I think it's these bitch ass players. Listen, do your job.
I mean, Rondo was one of the guys that actually Rondo spearheaded the meeting.
Man, listen, Rondo, because Rondo know he about to be out of there.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
Rondo ain't one of the young gunners. He's a veteran, and he's been with the truth and with the big ticket. and that's a whole different animal of getting chewed out. You can't even like he got chewed out as a youngin. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a difference between getting chewed out like what Jordan would do. You know what I'm saying? Getting him and Bill Paxton getting into it, him punching Steve Kerr in the face, which was some bullshit. But this a whole different level, and I still kind of err on the side of blaming LeBron a little bit because it's like you pout. It's a difference. You have that defeatist like attitude, like, oh well, you know, it's not motivating. It's just it looks corny, and we've seen it. And even Walt Frazier talked about it when he's sitting down at the way at the end of the bench, and they try to justify it and say he's always done that. Like, come on. And then the thing you brought up, Cam Newton, the only difference here, I agree. Like, even though I love Cam Newton, his body language and all of that, when you see a quarterback do that, and I remember playing, when I saw my quarterback doing that, I would dig in his ass, But when Cam is the leader of your team, that is discouraging. But the only difference here is Cam ain't never been called the best in the world either.
Scam. So yeah, I mean, listen, when he does that shit on the court and he's looking at people like pouting and shit like that, yeah, I give LeBron no passes,
None.
ever,
Ever.
ever. I never give that
Actually,
dude
this is
any
the first
passes.
time you might be defending him publicly.
I am definitely defending LeBron in this case, man. Um, and I don't know we don't really know the full context of the meeting, but I'm assuming that they're upset that when they're fucking up, LeBron is kind of holding them accountable. Now, if it's a mistake and he makes the mistake, or um, just they're not on the same page, and that's understandable. But if he's making a pass and you're missing a shot, wide open shot, shooting an air ball, you're missing an opportunity to make a play, I think he's justified. He does it out in the open, which public shaming can be probably what's causing these dudes to feel soft about it. But and who knows, if we had social media back when Jordan was in the league, we might have seen it. If not, seen that, if not worse. Like you said, he smacked shit out of a teammate. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I mean,
I think go
I
ahead.
again, I mean, what we see is kind of what we see. And you're right. I mean, shit, if we had social media back then, Jordan, the gambling, the cigars, the who knows. But I think the difference is for me, again, in the heat of battle, and I'm talking, even if you go back to playing on the court in your neighborhood, man, and somebody just on some type time where they pouting, like, and it's like, yeah, okay, you made the bounce pass, they didn't cut, at that point as a leader, do you throw your hands up in the air on the court and run off, or do you go over to them? Because you also got to know what kind of guys you got, like you also got to know if he's the guy that responds to you getting in his face, if he's the guy that you passively say something when he runs by or you clap up, you know what I mean? For him, it's always the, yeah, I'm in high school, I'm the best guy, and everyone's trash. Like Jordan, if he had to dig in your joint, he would get at you. And I'd rather you do that. And then you never saw Jordan, even with the flu in the midst of a game, he never was on the bench, out of the game, not focused. He's sipping the Gatorade, chewing like a horse, and he's thinking about how he's going to kill you. And that's what we always talk
Right.
about LeBron not having a killer gene because of that.
Yeah, but we all know that. I mean, for me and you, LeBron doesn't compare to Jordan, and to anybody in their right mind, he don't compare to Jordan, and that's the problem. Everyone's comparing them, but where I say that LeBron has a point, and is sort of justified, is think of it like this: the Lakers didn't make
Mm.
the playoffs. Niggas ain't talking about the Lakers didn't make the playoffs. They're saying, oh, LeBron didn't make the playoffs. You know what I mean? These are the headlines. LeBron James ain't in the playoffs first time since 2005. LeBron James went to the Lakers expecting to do better and didn't make the playoffs. You know what I mean? LeBron couldn't carry a team that was better than previous teams to the playoffs. LeBron stayed in the East all them years because it's now shown that if he had gone to the West, he wouldn't have made it to the finals, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nobody's saying the Lakers, the Lakers, the Lakers. They're saying LeBron, LeBron, LeBron. So if I'm gonna take the heat for it, I'm gonna have expectations, and if you're not meeting them expectations, guess what? You're getting held accountable. So I think he's sort of justified. We didn't see that out of Jordan publicly. We did see it from Kobe, not as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think he's somewhat justified, and I think the soft spot is the other kids. Like they're growing up in a society where we got all these damn participation trophies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like they've grown up all their life being told that they're the greatest because they had to be the greatest in their high school to make it to the college level. And then they had to be the best at their college level to make it to the pro level. But now they're playing with someone that's better than them and with a bunch of people that are equal to or better than them, and they can't deal with the stress and the criticism that comes with it.
Yeah, I would have to. I would have to agree, especially on the latter. I would have to agree with a lot of that. LeBron should have the expectations. This is the microwave generation where you can't tell them nothing. If they're born in 1990 and younger, you can't tell them nothing. They run from conflict. They run from criticism. If
Hmm.
you tell them something is wrong, they think you're basically you're, you're basically cursing them for life. So I can't refute that. What I will ask though, and we don't know, and I don't recall, but has LeBron had a players only meeting to where he then fired these guys up behind closed doors?
Right. And that's the other part. Now we know that we've seen and heard the alleged behavior in Miami and Cleveland, but we've also known LeBron to be the type of guy that when they're winning, he's on the bench with these guys jumping around and carrying on. And
Mm-hmm.
when they're losing, he's sitting on the bench, unhappy with his head down, and kind of,
Biting his nails.
right. So, um, I think, yeah, I think
Sounds
you got a point.
50-50. Sounds
Yeah, I think you
50-50.
got a point. If he's not, doing what it takes behind the scenes. And really, I mean, listen, there's a lot of talent on that team, those young kids. And if he didn't do his best, even when he was injured, to kind of get these guys motivated and keep them grounded as the veteran on the team, then yeah, then hell yeah, hold them accountable. But I think, when we see LeBron, and I don't know if you follow his social media or anything like that, but this year is different from any other year. He's got to spotlight his outfits and his sneakers and shit like that,
He's
which he
somewhere
never
else.
did
He's
before.
somewhere else.
Yeah,
His
he's
focus
in
is somewhere else.
Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
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 in
finally
Hollywood.
where he lives. He's where all of the opportunities are. He's got the show. He's got multiple shows rather. He's got the Mile show where
Hmm.
that one I haven't watched it. It's on a trash night for him because Wednesday night is my Chicago PD and Black Ink shit. I'm sorry. Um, and then he's got the shop, which is on HBO, which I haven't had. And sidebar, I'm gonna reach out to one of the local bars and ask that they do a Game of Thrones watch party. That way I won't have to subscribe to HBO. I think that's a damn good idea. But yeah, I mean his focus isn't there. And yeah, man, I would say this is 50-50. Even though Rondo is an OG, um, but the guys see it, and maybe Rondo as an OG is like, look, these cats can't take this, they can't take it. They're not built like that. They're soft. The generation is soft. But on the flip side, LeBron, where's your leadership to have pulled these guys to the side when you were hurt? When you were hurt and you saw things floundering. And not to mention, man, we always got to remember this is the same guy who tried to trade him for some Keebler cookies, you know?
Yeah, but if Rondo seen it and he was gonna call it, then and maybe he did, I think he should have tried to do it behind closed doors first with just LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
listen, dog, you a star. I've been in these shoes. I'm a vet. Like these kids ain't right. You know what I mean? They not you and me. They not built for this spotlight. They haven't matured into it yet, and it's really what it is. Brandon Ingram is young, who's hurt anyway. Zoe is not playing. He's young. The only one that's playing out of their core young kids is Yellow
Kuzma?
Boy
Kuzma?
Kuzma,
Yeah,
Kyle Kuzma.
yeah.
So
He might
I
have talked to
mean,
LeBron though ahead of time, to make sure that it would go down because it wasn't like he was surprised about it or nothing like that. But that I mean, all things considered, I agree with you 100%. All things considered, but this is some weird shit when you think about it.
yeah,
Like the whole team, like, and something, it also shows the changing of the guard because nobody in Cleveland, while he did it as a young kid out of high school, in Miami, he did whatever he was doing, and D Wade dealt with it, Bosh dealt with it. Haslam of everybody had something to say in Miami because he pretty much went there and he was the king. Even when Wade was there, it was Haslam and Wade. So LeBron coming, it's kind of like, yeah, I know you good, but this still my town. And everybody's dealt with his nonsense up until at this point. This is kind of indicative on the backside to kind of say, yo, dog, we know you the greatest, but we not feeling you right now. And I think that speaks a little bit to something else more than anything, because LeBron in his prime, of course he's not in his prime, but the LeBron that we all know, I don't even think people would even speak out to say any of this to him.
right. That could be one or two things too. I mean, it can result in either, all right, y'all not happy, then all right, we're gonna make sure y'all get traded, or y'all not happy, all right, I'm gonna take the next train out of LA. You know what I'm saying? Which I think it would be, the first of the two options because he's happy in LA. Like he likes this life that he's living, that California dreaming, being in the spotlight, being able to, be in movies, TV shows, starting his, whatever his legacy is gonna be beyond the NBA. He's
Mm-hmm.
getting it going for him, for his kids, for his wife, and he's gonna set everybody up, right? And maybe it because it's his first year there, he lost focus. So
Mm-hmm.
from that standpoint, as much as I criticize, I gotta say, let's see where he ends up next year. Personally,
When you say let's see where he ends up next year, what do you mean, like a new team, or what do you mean?
no, I mean as far as accomplishments, I don't foresee him leaving
Oh, okay,
LA.
okay. Yeah. And I mean, this is par for the course, historically for him in some degree, right? The disappointment the year you arrive,
Hmm.
and next year other things happen, but it's a lot different at this age and this stage,
And this
and
was
then
worse. This was the worst that he's
yeah,
had.
not
Even when he
making the
went to
playoffs.
Miami, yeah.
Sheesh.
When he went to Miami, they had a slow start, first couple of games,
I
and
went to the finals.
right, they still made it to the finals, right? So this is and even when he went back to Cleveland, it started off slow with Kyrie and Kevin Love,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
They went to the finals.
went to the finals. So this one, actually, this in LA, this relationship started off pretty fast. They were doing pretty good at the beginning of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then just fell off a cliff, partially due to the injury. Who knows if he didn't get injured, if they would have, definitely had a realistic shot at making the 8 seed, and
Yeah,
then
that's a
who
lot
knows
of
from
games
there.
missed. A lot of games missed.
So,
The other thing that doesn't bode well in his favor is free agency. So
mhm,
Golden State, they're probably gonna win it all, right? Houston is one of their biggest challenges in the West.
right.
OKC, depending on where the chips fall, might see them early. Cool. In the East, they've got, I think, Toronto to deal with. At the end of the day, after it's all washed up and said and done, I don't think Philly is gonna hold firm, either due to injury, either due to youth, either due to Ben Simmons being a liability to shoot. Um, I don't think they're gonna do anything. Boston, I don't think is gelling, just simply because I don't think Kyrie wants to be there. And then I think Kawhi in Toronto, can come out of the East and it'll say something, but screw that. I don't think with all of that being said, and then in Milwaukee, Antetokounmpo is going in with the ankle injury. Who knows? I think because the East is so unstable, I don't know if they would win. In the West, you got Houston and Golden State at this point. What I think is going to happen is Golden State's going to win a nail biter, and then they're going to win a title. And then I think KD, and I hope, as a Knicks fan, just to be biased, if all of the rumors are true, KD leaves. And then he goes to New York. So free agency in this regard doesn't bode well for LeBron, because KD, while he loves LeBron, hasn't made any indication that he wants to play next to LeBron. And I highly doubt he will want to go to LA. Like, we forget KD's an East Coast boy. He misses being home, close to home. He don't want to play for DC because that's too close. He got to give too many tickets. He got to deal with too much nonsense, and I don't see him staying in LA to play with LeBron to then play against the guys he just was with.
Right.
So then that leaves the question, then who is a free agent that can then help LeBron in LA?
Yeah, and I think if I'm KD, really, I'm probably coming back to the East, because LeBron is out in the West, and especially because they're thinking Kyrie might end up out there, and he can come to the East and run the East,
Easily.
and and if Kawhi goes to the Clippers or whatever it is that he wants to do, then you really got nobody in the East. You got Philly, who they got a point guard who refuses to shoot a jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they got a big dummy in the center that reminds me of Lenny from of Mice and Men, just dumb as shit.
Right.
And
right.
so
Harris
I
is
can
the
see
best
him
player
coming
they
back.
got.
Yeah, absolutely. I think but if I'm LeBron, right? Maybe he makes a call to Draymond. You know what I mean? Even though they go back and forth, it's been noted that they're friends, and Draymond's going to be a free agent this year. You know what I mean? He hasn't really had the greatest relationship with Golden State since Cousins got there. So maybe LeBron calls him up and is like, "Yo, you want to try and run the West with me? What's good? Come through."
I could see everyone leaving Steph behind in Golden State. Golden State is going to be one of those franchises that had a great run, but then 7 years from now they're going to go back to rock bottom, because everybody's going to go. I could see Steph being the lone guy there when it's all said and done, and going elsewhere or just retiring there due to injury. God forbid, I'm not wishing that on him, but he is somebody who's had to deal with a lot of injury to start out with. So it's going to come full circle at some point. So I could see Draymond going to LA. I think if KD leaves the West and then Kyrie goes over to LA, that will say a lot. That would say a lot. And I think that would be a good move for Kyrie. And in the West, you got Donovan Mitchell. You got a lot of young guns out there I still don't think they're going to dominate. And to your point, if I'm KD, the smartest thing for me financially, personally, and then just ease of the game, I'm going East, because I'm 3 hours away from home, which is the DC, Maryland area. 3 hours away from home. I'm close where I could pop in and out of DC and I'm gone. A lot of my business is in New York. If I'm New York and I'm Dolan, I'm giving him the keys. Whatever you want. A billboard of KD in Times Square, you got it. And I'm gonna make this city as great as it used to be. And hopefully they get Zion. Even though with Zion, I, as a Knicks fan, I think it's gonna be great to fill seats. I don't know if it's gonna really work for us, but we got some young talent. We got Dennis Jr. We got Knox. We got a lot of guys that the Knicks could really do some damage in the East. And with a KD, man, that elevates us so much. So I think the West will turn into like that Mad Max dystopian type of conference where everybody's just slaughtering each other. And
Mm-hmm.
whoever's in the East, especially if KD comes East, the Knicks would have a real shot. Brooklyn is good. Brooklyn is looking real good. But
Yeah.
I don't trust their management to do the right thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the two teams in the East, and it's gonna sound sort of biased, that I would consider if I was KD, would be the Knicks, probably 1A,
Mhm.
because they have Dennis Smith Jr., they have
DeAndre, I forgot about DeAndre.
DeAndre Jordan, they still got Knox, and they have a great shot at getting Zion.
Yep.
Or you go to somebody like the Magic,
Mm.
because the Magic have a young core. They're doing what they're doing. They've made some good moves. They have a lot of money to spend,
Mhm.
and the one position that they have room at is the fucking three. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like they're pretty good. They're as far as winning the Southeast Division. That would go without saying if he came to the Magic. You know what I mean? There's no competition in the Hawks or the Heat.
Right.
At that
Right.
point. So yeah, why not? But
But is
yeah, I think
Orlando a place? And I mean, you tell me, is Orlando a place for a KD? Like I know you can see the potential, but then let's think about it. KD is 32ish, I think.
hmm
What Orlando is trying to do versus, because I mean the Disney factor is there. The Disney element is there. But is Orlando a place? And in Florida, is that a place where a KD wants to be? You guys, Orlando has never really, like, even when like Penny and Shaq, they were stars on the rise. Their stardom didn't reach their maximum potential. I can't think of a star that y'all had that was at the max level. You know what I mean? Like at that LeBron, KD, like KD in his younger days, if he had been in Orlando, that would make sense. But I mean, at the pinnacle where you're trying to be as globalized as you can be, to where you just want to win one ring for this place and then just bullshit the rest and just cake. Is it,
well, the closest that they had was Dwight Howard, but he was just not mature enough to stick around. Um, I mean, remember he brought him to the finals and they lost to Kobe.
but he
So
wasn't no.
and they beat
But
LeBron.
stardom wise, at that point in his career, he wasn't a marquee. He was young, like you said. He wasn't like that, and I agree with you. Like a KD as a rook to mid of his career could have been in Orlando, light it up, light it up, light it up, and then dip. But is that a place where you come now at the back end of your career where you like, I got 2 good seasons where I'm gonna make this championship run, but the rest I'm gonna just take your money and make and eat off this city. What other better place do you have money where Dolan is already selling out the Garden now, and I can't even name to you everybody on the Knicks right now. You-
Right. Well, the bigger issue with New York for KD, I think, is he's not the type that's made for that media, for the New York media.
Mhm,
He just doesn't do well with criticism. He's not a strong-minded person.
mhm.
He doesn't brush his hair, so he wouldn't do good he wouldn't do good in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't
but
know.
yeah, I think
New,
I think getting him in, if they could get him in Orlando and pair him with a young Markel Fultz, and he could work with him in the off season and try to get his shot right.
that's a lot.
They still got, I mean, it would be a
That's
lot,
a lot.
but remember, Markel also would be, it's smaller media town. So, he's got nobody sitting behind. He wouldn't have anyone sitting behind him except for DJ Augustine. Like,
But Katie don't want that, and you know what? New York media, to your point, New York media has been way soft as of late. way soft. Like it's because of, and I don't know if because print changed and a lot of these old dogs are dying and a lot of the media is payola. Look, he gonna go to the Breakfast Club maybe in a year or two. Hot 97 maybe in a year or two. You know, after he wins or takes him to the playoffs or whatever. I mean, the Knicks, you can't expect shit from them. Like, who's really gonna dog him for anything that happens to the Knicks? I mean, we at the bottom. We at the worst we've been ever.
Yeah, they've just been consistently bad for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And to be the savior for New York is an opportunity, but I mean, we've seen too many people pass up. I mean, LeBron had that opportunity and passed it up. He had a really good opportunity to go there, even when you guys still had money to burn back then. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm KD, yeah, like I said, the Knicks would be a good opportunity, and I think if I'm coming east, I'm going Knicks or Magic, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I can't think of anywhere else for him to
What
go.
about South Beach?
Why? Who
Dare
else
I
is
say it?
there?
Dare I say it? Jeez.
I mean, he would have Dragic. He would have, Hassan Whiteside, who hit a major decline. Like these guys they're in the playoffs because people are having that shock value for D Wade's retirement tour, and really they may not even make it because the Magic just bumped them, out of the 8 seed.
Mm.
So if I'm thinking KD, I'm thinking I want to go to either I'm going to go to New York or I want to go to some type of contender in the East. And, Toronto can't afford them. Philly can't afford them. And they already got their team pretty solidified. Um, so I'm going either New York or maybe or the Magic. He's not going to go to Milwaukee. I
Mm-mm.
mean, could he go to Milwaukee? Sure, but they don't have, I mean, they got Middleton, they got Brogdon, they got,
They could trade and make some things happen. I just don't see it because
nah, that's not a
that's
fit for him.
Antetokounmpo's team. That's his team. Katie
Yeah.
wants his own team.
Only other place I could really like throw as a shot in the dark is Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
that would make me
um,
sick.
Zach Levine, like them kids, they've been playing up there a little bit, but um, if like I said, if having the choice, you go New York. They got young money. They got
And we got a lot of young talent, man. We got a lot of young talent, and we got Fizdale as a coach.
right,
That's a bright spot. And people in New York love to give Dolan a lot of shit for meddling, but I gotta say, man, I think Dolan is a jerk. But for the last at least 7 to 8 years, he has not really meddled. And the problem has been, our front office hiring lame duck coaches. And I think this time they really got it right. Mills and those guys are really running things. Fizdale, I like him. I rather Mark Jackson, but I get it. You got somebody who comes in talking religion and everything in one of the most diverse cities. It's not really good for business. You got a guy like Fizdale who's young, young wife, or fiance, whatever they might be, doing his thing. LeBron pedigree, comes from the tree of Spoelstra via Popovich, via Riley, and that's good. It's on up and up.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Fizdale's probably would be one of the difference makers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it'll be interesting to see what the off season looks like for the NBA this year. There's some individuals that'll be out there, and of course, there's going to be teams that are looking to make those trades and make those moves. For if the Lakers are looking to throw people away, so we'll see.
I like it. I got
So
random banter for you before you
okay,
start. Well, hold that thought. Got random banter for you. So today, right? My middle girl, she gave me an invitation to a party probably about early this month, right?
hmm
Dick. I'm like, yo, I'm because it's we so her mom and I, our schedule is very conducive to them in their life. We live about 15 minutes apart. Every Monday night, I have them. Every Tuesday night, she has them. Every Wednesday night, I have them. Every Thursday night, she has them. Every other Friday, every other Saturday. And however Sunday washes out, she or I have them, right? So I'm looking on the calendar. She gives me the invitation. I'm like, yo, I hope this joint is on your mama weekend. God damn it. And I count the weekends. I'm like, shit, this is mine. Okay. So I text the lady on the invitation, literally the day of the last day of RCP. Like, yeah, we gonna be there. You know what I mean? Now the kid's name on the invitation, I'm looking at, and I'm like, this is. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I'm like, this is a black kid. This name is a black kid. The way it's spelled, it's a black kid, and it's a boy. It's a unisex name. You know, young moms out here trying to do it up, whatever. I don't bother to ask the girl, meaning my daughter, because now they're in a county school where it's primarily white, for the most part. I don't bother though. I don't think, and I even said he a couple of times, and nobody's correcting me.
Right.
Fine. I get there, and we get to the party room, and it's a bunch of white people. I was like, whoa. And when I tell you, this was the most socially awkward feeling I've had, and I don't know how long. We were literally the only black people there for the party. There was one mulatto white black guy who had a white wife, whatever. But it was kind of amazing to me to see my children bond and kick it with this white girl. I know. I
So
mean,
it wasn't a
seriously.
boy?
No, it was a girl. It was a girl on top of that, and she was white. So I even got a boy's card, everything. It was terrible. It was
How
terrible.
do you fuck that up?
I didn't know. I just assumed. Well, I mean, the card was. It didn't. Yeah, I don't remember if the card said boy, but I was. It was awkward,
It was
man.
Transformers or some shit.
Nah, it was like a pirate joint. It's like a. It's like a Hoy matey or something. You know what I mean? I was like, damn. And I asked him. I said, yo, I've been saying he around y'all for a minute. Y'all ain't even say nothing. But yo, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I felt awkward as hell sitting in there. And it was funny though, because my other two kids felt awkward too.
Yeah.
And they immediately like backed themselves next to me, you know, but it was also good to kind of see the innocence of kids and watch them mingle and rap. And then, you know, even with the mom and the parents, and you know, I didn't really talk to the dads too much because, you know, I don't really know where cats is coming from. Not to mention I had my Cuba shirt on, my Shea, you know, shirt on, and they got the America and guns shirts and all of this, and I'm like, damn. And I got Vans, and I'm looking like this little street punk. Usually I look like an American dad, you know, but I'm looking like some little street punk today. I'm like, damn, you know.
Because you thought you were going to a black party.
I did. And not to mention, honestly too, I didn't really have too much else to wear. But no, I thought I would at least pass with that. You know what I mean? I thought I was passing, because normally I would dress pretty regular, pretty plain, you know. But yo, man, that was awkward as hell. Like, it was super awkward. I ain't gonna lie.
So, you know what's funny is we actually we skipped a birthday party today for that same reason. Yo, let me not say it like that.
Oh, that's what it's like, though.
Let me not say it like
Oh
that.
shoot.
So we didn't skip because of that. I skipped because of that, right? I'm brown. So like I've met the people whose parents or whose party it was today, right? And they're rich. Like they're not you and me. Like they rich.
Mm.
Like dude he's got dough. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um but he always acts like, you know what I mean? Like I only saw him actually I've only seen him once, and then the other times like he's never been around. Like when my son had his party, the dad didn't show up. The mom showed up. She's cool. She's pretty down to earth, you
Mhm.
know. White lady, blonde hair, you know, but she's cool. She's chill. Like but the dad, he's like, you know, boat shoe type dude from like, remember how high when the dude was on the rowing team
Yeah,
and shit like that?
Bart.
Like yeah, Bart,
Mhm.
exactly that type of yo, that type of dude and shit. So
I wear
so
boat
you
shoes in
know,
the
wifey,
summer, FYI.
well, yeah, but
Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
Bart,
but it's a
but yeah, true.
different, it's that pompous
Yeah.
shit. But so I know him for about I've remembered now for about a week, and all week I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. Like I'm gonna go, and like there's a friend. We got another couple that's a friend of ours. Like the wife is Cuban, and the husband is Indian and shit. And you know they're cool with them. And I was like, fuck it. So if the Indian dude goes, then I'm gonna go because then I won't be the only brown dude there and shit. You know what I'm saying? Um. So, but I never confirmed. So like, I never confirmed. So wifey today was like, um. so we got so and so's birthday today, and you coming? And I was like, nah, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh.
so she starts getting ready and shit, and it's like 3 o'clock. Party's over at 5, and it's like a half hour away and
Wow.
shit. So she was like, so she ended up, you know, texting that we weren't gonna make it. But my whole shit was like, I'm not gonna go stand around these cats because you know, for me, I'm gonna pop up and I can't have hedge fund conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
and I don't know, you know, I don't know their surroundings and how they're looking at things. They could be 45 supporters,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
and who knows? I might pop up with my "fuck Trump" T-shirt, and then now, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm the spotlight of the fucking party.
Mhm.
So I just said, you know what? It's probably better if I don't go. You know, for me to pop up, tatted up, you know what I mean, and whatever you know, Jordans, of course,
Mhm.
and whatever.
Mhm.
You know, baby rocking Jordans and matching. Like that's just what we do when we go in public. That's you know, but
No,
so yeah, that I
I
couldn't do
applaud
it.
you because you're now immersed in the parent life, and so it's funny because out of all three of my children, out of 10, 8 years, and 4 going on 5 years of life, she's the first one. She's the most eclectic one. She is the middle child. She is the one that has put us in the situation. Now, in the town in that I'm in, you have white folks from the east side and the west side that commingle with black folks pretty well. And I can
Hmm.
tell that they are kind of from that area where, so on the west side of Baltimore, we have a place called Pigtown, where Pigtown is black and white. And there are different neighborhoods around there because of drugs. They mingled with each other in the 80s, and you got a lot of mixed babies. Same with the east side, kind of, but they're still a little bit more racist. So I can tell that these people were from the east side, but they're around black people and they're cool. Like they weren't uncomfortable around me. They just didn't know
Hmm.
me. I know them, and so that's what it was. But folks from Baltimore, they are tatted up to the nines. You know what I mean? And they're
Right.
down to earth people. But it just was awkward. So I mean, we wasn't in that situation. So I totally get it far as the hedge fund part, because I ain't with it. I'm not with that.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't know. You know, like for me, I'm a chameleon. I have conversations with everybody and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Comes from the field that I'm in, but
You're a Sagittarius too.
Yeah, that too. I mean, it don't mean shit to me, but
Yeah,
I don't.
I was just gonna say, yo, people be saying shit about your zodiac. This shit don't fucking mean nothing. Like,
Yo, I stay, and it's crazy because Sagittarius is one of those that cats all like. People always talk about like Leo, Sagittarius, and Pisces are like the three most like. Oh, you're a Sagittarius, and I'm
oh,
like,
that bullshit, yo, yeah,
fuck
yeah,
out of
that
here.
bullshit, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, y'all outspoken. No, sure. I mean, I know a lot of people that are outspoken. We not all Sagittarius and shit.
right, right.
Um,
That's
but
funny.
yeah, for me, I can get by and I can get along, and I probably would have come up with some conversation. Baseball season is around, whatever. But who knows? You know what I mean? Like it's just better for me not to be in that situation.
Yeah, nah, I totally get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah, man. But what were you gonna go into before I went into the random banner on that? You good though?
Um, what were we talking about? We were talking about
We were on
LeBron.
LeBron, then we went somewhere, and then I had the random banter.
Oh, yeah, but we were talking about New York, and I wanted to. I think where I was going. Do you hear that? Like,
Yeah,
am
I
I
do,
going
I do,
crazy?
I do hear that.
Um,
All right, stopped.
so we're talking about
You sound great.
we're talking about the Knicks
Mm-hmm.
and
We talking about KD.
your boy Porzingis, man.
Porzingod. Mm.
Um, yeah. So it just came out today. For those who don't know, Kristaps Porzingis, who the Knicks traded away to the Dallas Mavericks, might turn out to be a great trade because he's being investigated by the NYPD for rape allegations.
Yep.
So, you think it's factual, or you think it's more of like on last episode we talked about um people coming people coming through talking about Cardi
Mhm.
B just out of the blue. We know it happens to athletes. You think it's legitimate, or you think it's just like somebody's like, let me go at Porzingod and see if I can get some money.
It's always and the VP isn't here, but it's always hard to tell, with that. And I would love to believe that somebody like Porzingis would be smart about it. And I don't mean smart about, doing something illegal, but smart enough and morally smart enough and morally good enough to not do something like that, because this is something that at 7'3" you can't escape that.
You can't hide.
You can't say this is mistaken identity, bro.
That's a lot of
you,
DNA, dog.
you know not to make light of the potential situation. um that's a police sirens on that one, but yeah, man, it's kind of tough to say, and for NYPD to be investigating it, it has to have some kind of teeth to where they feel like they got to, use some resources for it. Um,
Mm,
I don't really foresee anything happening. I don't really foresee anything coming out of it, because I just don't see how, if this was what it was, it didn't come out before. But you never know, man. And it's, as a Knicks fan, if I want to be ignorant for a moment, it ain't our problem no more.
right.
So definitely a good trade, because even in the least bit of sense, let's just say something questionable happens, and it comes out, yeah, I didn't rape this person, but I did some foul things that they didn't like. That could warrant some suspension time, and we're talking just strictly on the court here. We're not talking about the morals, because we don't know anything. We don't know about anything. And we like to disclaim on this podcast, if something comes out that's purely foul and disgusting, we're going to call it what it is. Male, female, no matter your gender, ethnicity, nationality, or orientation,
Mm,
we're going to call you a scumbag, period. That's it. But right now we really don't know too much. But speaking just as a fan, I'm glad we ain't got to deal with that.
Yeah, yeah. The last thing the Knicks need is for their best player to be in trouble.
Right.
But so they say behind closed doors. What is it? His brother or his cousin? That's
His brother.
his
His brother.
agent slash
Yeah.
publicist. They say that that dude is pompous as hell. So
Mm.
um, who knows, man? And they say Porzingis is just, when he gets around him, he's just as bad. He's arrogant.
Mm.
So who knows? Maybe they had, some things around. You know, and it's different. It's a different light here in
Mm-hmm.
America.
The
That meat
Latavia.
that meat shake a little different in NY than it does in
Mm-hmm.
Latvia. You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't no booty implants in
Mm-hmm.
Latvia. So
I'm gonna tell you
um,
this.
who knows? Maybe they might
I'm
have
gonna
pulled
tell
a
you
Cardi.
this. If he got something, if that behavior, if what you're saying is true, and it happened in NYC, I'm gonna tell you this. Personally, knowing he spent every time they played the Wizards, he spent a lot of time in the club in DC. I won't
Mm.
be surprised if something else pops up.
Yeah, yeah. Usually when there's one, there's more. Look at Ben Roethlisberger. I mean,
Hmm.
shit happens, and he'll probably make it go away because, um, either it is legit and somebody is would listen. End of the day, it sounds fucked up, but you throw a couple million at me, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna find a way to forget all about what took place.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and that's what tends to happen. It's either that or it's not right. It's not real. It's just somebody trying to get a come up. So
And he's got Mark Cuban behind him now.
yeah, Cuban don't play games, so you know how that goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you sent me something earlier about Jussie.
Mm.
What were you saying?
Jussie, couple things on Jussie. And let me fact check one of them. I thought I saw that earlier Jussie was nominated for NAACP award.
No, no, you're gonna put me in a bad spot.
Jay. Fuck that. Right in, baby.
It's about to get real. Let's just act like that. You know what? Let's move to the next topic.
I've been spelling his name wrong, number one. Um
He's been spelling his name wrong his whole fucking life. His parents spelled it wrong. You don't spell Jesse with no U.
well, I liked him in the Mighty Ducks though.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't really say much, but Chris Rock slams Jussie Smollett at NAACP awards. What the hell was he thinking? So the NAACP awards was today? Holy shit. Yo, how did we not know that? Yo.
Well, I
Well,
want to know what time that shit happens. Is it like a midday award ceremony? Because
I
you
don't
sent me that.
know.
You sent me that early.
I thought Smollett was nominated. Smollett was nominated but lost for Best Supporting Actor in a Television Drama for his role as Jamal Lyon on the series. So he's been nominated for 4 years on that.
Oh,
Leading up to the event.
I want to know what Chris Rock said. He probably said something that was extremely legit
Oh,
and
well, yeah.
accurate.
Well, yeah.
Goop.
Chris Rock speaks on stage at the 50th NAACP Image Awards. All right. You know what? So he says they said no Jussie Smollett jokes. What a waste of light skin. Do you know what I could do with that light skin, that curly hair? My career would be out of here. I'd be running Hollywood, said Rock. No, but you know what? Then he goes on. He says, "What the hell was he thinking? You're Jesse from now on. You don't get the you no more. That you was respect. You ain't get no respect from me. Damn, Chris Rock be wildin'.
So he said he's Jesse.
Yeah, he's Jesse. He's not
That's
Jesse no
right.
more.
Listen. What the hell is a Jussie? I agree 100%, man. And while he was joking, I think there was some, some truth
He
behind it.
Chris Rock is dead ass serious, B.
Yeah, Rock don't play games, man.
Not at all.
He I mean, the first part that he was probably joking was the light skin shit because, dark skin, light skin, that's a back and forth thing we've already talked about on this podcast. But
But he feels that
um,
way. He's probably that's probably the thing he's most dead ass serious about.
I don't think so because
Chris
Chris
Rock,
Rock
the
did
black as
good.
fuck.
Yeah, he crispy and he still did good in Hollywood. Like
Yeah,
this
but
guy,
but that ain't talking about how he grew up in Brooklyn in a white school and Jewish cusp of a Jewish neighborhood to a black neighborhood. He meant that shit. He meant that. He meant the fuck out of that.
eh, maybe he meant that for somebody else because Chris Rock ain't fucking like he's not hungry for a dollar. He's doing
Nah,
okay.
but just because you rich don't mean a lot of your issues go away. But here's a larger thing that I have an issue with, right? Let me say something like this. What I'm saying, I might be wilding.
You are.
I think I am. Yeah. NAACP. um so one of the former directors of the NAACP has been jealous, who ran for governor of Maryland last year, who I openly criticized. I openly gave a chance. I openly listened. I openly wanted to believe maybe he was going to do something, but I didn't hear anything. And then I saw his voting record in Maryland. Only voted one other time prior to running for governor himself and then voting for
Mm.
himself, right? Former director. Um, the NAACP headquarters used to lie in Baltimore City, Maryland. When I tell you, Steve, this place is in the boondocks. You could not find this shit if you tried. I mean, if you tried, you could not find it. Like, you literally had to run up on it by accident. In a city that's majority black, that is one of the most dangerous rather cities for black people, black men in America, right? This is NAACP.
Mhm.
Jealous as the former director tried to move it to other places, and it has since moved, to my knowledge. No, I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Not gonna fact check that, but could be wrong. The NAACP Awards is being held in LA, right?
Mhm.
With all of these stars, how is it that your base was Baltimore City and your presence still to this day is not what it should be? When the Freddie Gray riots happened, when the marches happened, when everything just the way that the city politics are run, how is it that this thing that was started in upstate New York and went through the centuries of service, you have your 50th awards in LA like it's a big Hollywood thing. This is something for the people, man. NAACP is supposed to be for the people. But yet, when I see this, and not this is a rant for me, but I'm looking at this, man. This looks like a Hollywood premiere type
Mhm.
thing.
Well,
How does that make sense?
you seen The Wire.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing different there. I mean, that's just how it works in a lot of the inner cities. I'm sure Baltimore is not the least, the worst of it. Shit, if you think about, Bridgeport, same shit. They filed bankruptcy. We had a mayor that was money laundering. Two of them back to back.
Mm,
You know what I mean? One of them went to jail. You know what I mean?
mm,
And
mm.
bullshit. One went to jail, did his time, came out and ran again for mayor. Like, and people were standing behind him. So
Yeah.
corruption is there, and
No, but I think aside from the city politics, my question is though, as the NAACP and your base was the city, how do you then justify, right, Think about it. How do you then justify having an award show of this magnitude all the way on the other coast
Well,
when your headquarters has been here?
yeah, well, and like we said, it's LA. That's what people do. What's more appealing? What's appealing to people to show up to the NAACP awards? You want people like for example, Jay-Z got one this year. You want him to show up there. I mean, and he probably would show up in Baltimore, but I'm
I traveled to Baltimore in the Ford Explorer, but it's gonna cost you more if I gotta take it to Florida.
yeah, when he was a drug dealer. But I mean, you want people like Jesse Jackson and Colin Powell. Like these are people that won, the same award that Hove won. Um, as black as they are on the outside, they're just the opposite on the inside. You think they're gonna show up to Baltimore? Like,
But that's a problem, man. This used to be a place. This used to be one of the only places on the circuit that, if you were in entertainment, that you can get to. And I guess I get your point. I get your cynical point, and it speaks of mine. The sad part is, y'all at the NAACP have forgotten about this place and the East Coast and the people. You hosting this award show out there, on the red carpet in LA. That's whack, man. And I don't like it. I
yeah,
said it, and actually I've said it last year, and I don't like it because it's not new. They've always had it out there. I just don't like it.
yeah, and I mean, really comes down to that. That's the gist of it. They want that. They want the appeal to the stars, and being in California or Los Angeles for anything, whether it's an award show or anything else, you have a chance of, people popping up or people showing up, a higher chance than if it's Baltimore, Maryland, or anywhere else. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's the way it is. Well, imagine if they were holding some shit in like Detroit, like
Mm.
you wouldn't get nobody showing up in Detroit. You might have Chauncey Billups. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like those are the cats that you get showing up out there. But you crazy? Like, or even I mean, it's hard enough, and you probably get them in Chicago if it's in like downtown area, just off of the name. But these inner cities or these predominantly black cities, as much as they have to offer, because a lot of them have, older buildings, a lot of them have a lot of history to them, and these same people that take these trips down to Africa and these trips to, Jamaica to see Garvey's house and stuff like that. You'll do that in other countries, but you won't go into, the black neighborhoods in America. That's a problem. It's a huge problem.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. You're right.
So,
You're right.
um, yeah. So I think, I'm off that. I've had enough of that discussion. Um, I haven't seen Us yet. I'm gonna have to save that till probably Monday.
It's
Specifically
Sunday
because
tomorrow. Get somebody to babysit. Look at sidebar. I got a question, and it's brief. I know I've been throwing a lot of wrenches in the program. Who babysits baby boy? Is mom babysitting?
when
Is grandma babysitting?
when
No, I'm saying it.
usually it's my mother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Like she watches them while we go to work.
Mm-hmm.
If we do go somewhere like to watch a movie or some shit, it's usually her.
Okay.
That's really it.
Niece ain't babysitting?
Nope.
Okay. I can dig it.
One, I mean, you figure the oldest one, she got two of her own kids,
No, I can dig it. I can dig it.
plus work.
Say
And
no more.
then,
Say no more. Say no more. Say no more.
you know,
I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. And mother-in-law is pretty much kind of open.
yeah, she makes herself available. So, I mean, she drives 40 minutes a day
Mm-hmm.
every morning to take care of my kid. You know what I mean? Or her grandkid.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's pretty sweet.
yeah, I mean, it's a saver because if anybody knows, you know, daycare ain't cheap. Well, you don't know, but
No,
daycare
sir.
ain't cheap.
Actually, I do because I actually ran the daycare unit for an entire city, so I do know. But I get it.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so daycare ain't cheap, and not only that, but the exposure to the germs, and
And just
you
trust,
know,
trust of who's watching your kid.
oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's probably better that way, so I don't end up in
You
jail.
don't want to show up with the AK.
Yeah, like, and then I mean, you got to remember, like down here is where we've had so much happen in daycares. Like, last year we had that car drive through the daycare,
Jesus.
you know, with the kids in it. We had recently we had the report of the woman holding the kid while the other kid punched him. Like,
Fight Club.
the daycare worker was holding the kid while another kid. Dog, do you
Shakedown.
know how
The
far
shakedown.
into jail and hell I would be? Like,
Yeah.
come on,
The
man.
shakedown.
Come on.
She was getting the
It's just
shakedown.
better.
That's crazy.
I try not to even think about stuff like
Yo,
that, man, because I get
it
in.
just it tickles me now being that you're a parent and your whole shift of your mind, and now you get it. Now you finally get it. Now you get it. Now you get it. You know, it's one thing when, you know, we were coming up, you know, and we were savages in that realm. You know, it's like, go smack this kid. He owes me money, whatever. You know, or we had Paris Hilton's club, and you know, you got something in the tuck and you about to pull it, you know, about to draw on them, you know. And but then it goes to the, okay, now I'm a little older. I got a career and I'm cool, but I'll still flex on you. But now being a dad, you like, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna think a little bit, but I'm
That's a
still
different
wild.
kind of. Yeah, it's a different kind of
Yeah.
flex. That's blackout. Like, you black out. I mean, I black out. I don't know about anybody else, but like, I think about that
Mm,
shit. Like when I be driving and I drive with him in the back, I be like, man, I just hope for the
yeah.
best because I
It'll
mean,
get easier.
I think
It'll get easier.
I think about the stuff that pops into my head, like, oh my god, that person almost hit me. If they would have hit us,
But you know
yeah,
what?
I played out
You
in
know
my head.
what piece of advice I'm gonna give you? No matter what you think about doing, always look back to them first. Cause in that moment you can look back to him and his face will tell you what you need to do. And the older he gets and the better you are to communicate, and the more that you'll be able to see that the things that you do influence the kind of person he's gonna be, you're gonna be like, damn,
Yeah,
while this person is wilding out, I could be wilding out. But I don't want him to be like that, you know? It's just like when I did the podcast on the dissertation. I haven't done the podcast for the dissertation in a while, but focusing on Castworthy right now. But when we were in the bank, man, and this Caucasian lady about my mom's age, man, just started wilding on me. And I don't bank, but this bank is State Credit Union, CQ, fuck you, go to hell. You know, she starts wowing, and my oldest kid is in her headphones, not paying attention. The youngest one is just doing young shit. Middle one gets pissed. She turns to me, and then she looks at this lady, and the lady then calms down. That's how I knew she fucked up. And it's just funny, man, because my kid looked at me, bro. She looked at me in that moment where I saw in her face where she wanted to wild out, but I had to remain calm.
right.
And that was another defining moment for me to be like, shit. As a parent, I literally gotta lay an example down. It ain't always gonna be the best one, but god damn it, I gotta do something.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I still get I've drawn anger issues due to this kid. So
You still like I'm a couple of AK rides away.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen,
It's a little excessive.
it's a little excessive. I've started leaving the things at home instead now. Like we go to
Nah,
Costco.
don't do that.
Nah, Costco Sundays we go out. Leave the things in the drawer at home because.
You ain't naked. No, don't be naked.
Nah, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. I wish I lived in Florida for that matter.
Yeah, stand your ground.
Oh man, you ain't shit.
Yeah. So.
My bad. That was my tangent.
Yeah. All right. It's about to be 1:00 in the morning. So
I'm with it though. We riding.
I don't think we.
We haven't hit everything. We talked about LeBron. Talked about Porzingis. Your boy Shaq.
Oh,
And
right.
Papa John's.
Shaq's the new face, Papa John's.
Yeah, man. You said fuck Shaq. That's your
Yeah.
man's. Shaq is your man's, bro.
Nah. I don't really fuck with Shaq like that. I'm a Hakeem Olajuwon guy.
You lying to our listeners now?
Nah,
Shaq got drafted to the Orlando Magic when?
95, maybe.
Try again.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So as an Orlando Magic lifetime fan, now you're just gonna act like you don't know when Shaq got drafted? When Penny and Shaq were an item?
Had to be 93, maybe 90.
Mm-hmm. Now you cooking?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Somewhere in the early 90s. I know that for sure.
That's your guy. That was your guy.
Yeah, I was a huge. I mean, I still like the Magic. I was a Magic fan.
No, I'm talking about Shaq.
Nah, I wasn't really a Shaq guy. Like
You're
once he went
lying.
to LA, he was hating on Kobe, even though Kobe snitched on him. Like
Kobe dry snitched on him. That's unforgivable. Unforgivable.
Yeah, but if there was no Kobe, they don't win no chips over there.
If there's no Shaq, D Wade wins no chips.
I don't know about that.
That's a
D
fact.
Wade won one before Shaq got there, didn't he?
No.
Well, he was 6th seed.
No.
6th seed with the likes. Yes, he did.
I'm saying he's not winning the chip though. No.
Oh, you never know.
No, he didn't get it over. He's not getting over the hump without Shaq. No.
You would have had LeBron.
You've already argued this point with me on behalf of me. So let's leave it to that. But Shaq, new face of Papa John's. And then I saw something to the degree where I don't know how much out of context it was, but he kind of said he wouldn't have did what Kaepernick did. I don't really know the details of that. I didn't fact check it. But you said fuck Shaq for being the face of Papa John's. Why?
Why?
Ooh.
You want me to tell you why? Shaq's black.
Yeah.
Like, what more do I gotta say? Papa John's, they went through that thing, the controversy last year where they were, dropping the N-bomb, calling, using the word nigger.
Did they?
Yeah, absolutely.
I missed that.
That was early 2018, or mid 2018. Supposedly the founder of Papa John's was dropping the N-bomb, just like what's her face that from Atlanta or from the Booter, the cook lady that cooks and shit. Damn, what's her name? White lady, white hair. Yeah, he was. So yeah, they're calling him racist. They're saying the dude was racist, and even though he stepped down, you know what I mean. You're still representing a company that's, to me, is shit. Like, I'm thinking that and here's the problem. We're giving passes to these companies, to these rich people, Gucci, H&M. Like, people forgot about Gucci. Like,
yeah,
you see the same people that we're talking about, except for T.I. You see the same people that we're talking about, boycott Gucci, wearing Gucci.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, H&M got away with it. Starbucks got away with it. You know what I mean? Now you got Shaq who's supporting Papa John's. Like, um, for all the shit that we've been through as people, and as relevant as people try to keep it, the racism and um, just the way our society is, people we want people to understand. Shit, look at the president. That racism isn't dead, and then for you to turn around as one of the premier African American celebrities, um,
In the nation.
and
Yeah.
support a company that is tied to you know is tied to racism in any way, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how I see it.
I don't disagree at all, man. That was a major yo, and and you know something, man. People, and I always ask this randomly, and I've never really asked this in a poll kind of forum, but how many people in the black community are really untouchable? And for a long time it was R. Kelly, because all of the foul shit he did, he still
Mm,
thrived. He was untouchable. Jay-Z's untouchable. Beyonce's untouchable.
yeah,
Shaq is definitely one of those people that are untouchable because he's entertaining, he's a pioneer, he's flourished in so many places. And I mean, this is one of those moments where it's like we put our people on a pedestal way too much. You
right.
got to be able to criticize and still support. You still say, Shaq, this is fucked up, but you still black, you still my guy, but this is bad. It's just bad, man.
He's still an icon, and you can still recognize his accomplishments and his greatness at what he did as an athlete. But his character as a person, for him not to understand what's wrong here, is a problem. You know what I mean? And you can't just there's no way he can justify that.
I think he understands what's wrong. I think he doesn't care. I think he's very insightful. He's like, ever since he's Shaq has been very insightful. He knows exactly what's going on. And I think also too, to be fair to him, I don't know. Well, then again, I don't know, because I saw a snippet of somebody talking about Colin Kaepernick. I don't know if this interview was post this or that, but to be fair, maybe someone should give him a platform to maybe explain. Maybe he's trying to say he wants to change things. I don't know, but he is pointing out that he's all about the bag. But I think a lot of these stars are, and that's where we as common people can't idolize these people. We gotta have our own regular everyday heroes. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and social media has made it that way. It's made people has given people the inability to think for themselves. You know what I mean? People go on and they want to know what their favorite rapper or their favorite singer or their favorite athlete is doing, and that's what they do.
Hmm.
Or that's what they support. You know what I mean? If tomorrow Jay-Z got online and was like, "Yo, let's get back to supporting Gucci," people are gonna support Gucci. You know what I mean? People are not gonna think for themselves. They're gonna be, or if Beyonce came out, and performed in some fucking Gucci shoes, or Gucci dress, people are gonna go right back to it. No, everyone's gonna completely forget. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. That's the problem.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think we're in a
Yeah.
good spot. Um, Next recording will be Monday evening. But for those of you that are not following us, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at Castworthy, and search just Castworthy on the Spotify machine and the podcast app for Apple. Also soon again to be on YouTube once we get things sorted out that way. So we appreciate the listen, and as the VP would say, everything that you've done in your life has led to you listening to this podcast, including waiting until the end and hearing us out. And we hope that you continue to listen and follow us going forward. Thank you. And
Amen.
good night.
Dirty, yo. You don't know Sean Paul again, you understand? DMX and Dido, Mr. Fake, across the way,